Hello and welcome back to the series. EXP here, and today you find me in a rather strange position, mostly because I'm not where I should be at the start of a video. No, we'll be visiting Greg a little bit later because this is the Big 50. This is the World Tour. So we're here at spawn to get things going. Now, I have in this box absolutely everything I own. Can I press this while in this mode? Can I? Am I even pressing the right button? There. So all my stuff, all I've got is rockets and food and my elytra, which we'll be putting in this box when we're finished. For now, this is staying here, and let's start the tour. So the first stop on our tour will be over here in this quaint little village that is called Irontown, and it is my starter base. And I had a lot of fun here, even if it did fail miserably. So the first thing I built on this world was this little hut here, the cottage tower thingy. And I thought I knew what I was doing, but clearly, clearly I wasn't. I had a lot more confidence in my ability than I should have. But you know, I like the inside. It's got that going for it, and the function of it was perfect. I had a tiny little storage room up here. I had a bed down here. Crafting. This is all the armor trims and stuff I had initially. This is other stuff I collected. And out here into a little kitchen area. Yeah. The next thing we built was this storage room itself, which I never really utilised as a storage room because we moved on pretty quickly after. As you can see, the just dumping stuff had already started by this point as well. Let's see, is there still a semblance of cohesion over here or not? So, ores, mostly. Yeah. No. No. Empty. Empty. Nether stuff. Terracottas. Yeah, yeah, there is a bit of continuity. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So, this was manageable at least, for the most part. Wooden stuff. Dirt blocks. I believe one of them was coloured glass as well. But yeah. Yeah. This actually functions still. I also had the unlimited water source that you always need. And a mini farm with the only surviving member of the village downstairs that wasn't locked away. Because I had something downstairs that completely failed. Which we'll go and look at next. Ooh. So we had this bridge, which I built to lead down into the actual mountain itself. I had this nice little area here, which, can you guess what it was for? Hmm? Yeah, growing trees and chopping them down. My manual tree farm. Moving on down, we head into the depths and the belly of Irontown itself, which you'll understand why it was called Irontown very shortly. I had designs to turn this into a docking boat over here. Let's see, is it going to work? Does it even still work? It should do, it's just not very good. So yeah, if you don't know what that is, that's a very rudimentary iron farm. Built horrendously, obviously, because it's an XP original. That would filter into here. We've got a little bit of iron. And I'll take the poppies. Why is that popping up again? I swear every time I load this world something kooky happens. And I'll plonk these in here. And that was my first bone meal farm. Into Irontown itself. We built these little hutty housey type things. Build them with villagers from the village over yonder. Which I suppose we could visit there, couldn't we? Not that there's much there to see. And then I got all these in here to get my tools to sell iron from the iron farm. And to get my first diamond armor. That was it. Basically everything else in here was aesthetics. There is a mine that if we go down here will lead us to it. If we click on the right side. There. Yep. This led down into our very first mine. I don't remember if it's actually interesting or not, so let's just free cam it. Ah, oh yeah, I forgot about this skelly farm. We'll have to visit that. Yeah, just a standard mine. There's nothing interesting at all about it, other than here I believe, was a very simple slime farm I built, which it's literally, this is a slime chunk and that was it. How do I get back up? The reason they've got these dirt walls here and everything was because I also filled this with free roaming villagers, but they all still managed to escape and die somewhere, I assume. Or at least they got stuck and I don't know where they are. Up here was our library, our very first mending villager. He wasn't a very good price, but he got us what we needed. And up this way, I believe is... Yeah, this is where we get to that farm. That was just decoration. Doesn't do anything. But yeah, there's a lot of things in here that are just decoration. And then the last part of Irontown, we had these farms that are set up for villagers to farm manually. But again, they didn't. I'm guessing they just walked over here, fell off here, and that was the end of them. And this was going to be the workhouse. Yeah, nice. Fancy. Great for plenty of villagers, if I had any. I could have done that meme then. This is where I would put my villagers, if I had any. And that is the conclusion of the tour of my Iron Town. I used this waterfall to get up and down a hell of a lot at the start. We even got a little dock here. But yeah, it was a lot of fun building this place. It's a shame it didn't work how I needed it to. But the villagers, they came from over here. We didn't have to go far at all for them. Yep. Nearly. Maybe it's further than I thought. Yeah, that village there. We just plucked them out of their home and off we went. So, once we were done with here, we then went to the end, which I believe is just a straight line this way. I forgot about this. This was the first excavation I did, which was just as the trial ruins released. So was that 1.19, 1.18, 1.19? Yep, more chests just full of stuff that I couldn't take back. And yeah, this was a fun little excavation project. We got everything important out, and yeah, oh, I could have took them bricks with me actually. And yeah, we excavated the whole thing, and I didn't get to show you much of it because it was a lot more time consuming and a lot more arduous than I thought it was going to be. But it was a fun little experiment, and it was just one small stop on the way to our next destination. I forget how to use ladders. I believe this is the original entrance to the stronghold, which I don't have my fancy hat on anymore. I might not be able to make it. Should we try? When was the last time I set spawn? I don't know. This could go horrifically wrong. Let's find out. No, there's still a hole. No, it's blocked. Yep, come on. Hurry up. Is there still a way down? Let's find out. I think we're safe here. Is it you? There should be a way directly down somewhere. Is it you? Yeah, there you are. Not far from there. Okay, we head to there. Let's try again. Take a deep breath. Can I hold my breath as long as I can swim? This was a bad idea. Oh, nailed it. I mean, it's kind of anticlimactic seeing as I just took a break, but oh well. So, how's life? Everything good? Yeah, we're here anyway. We're just going to make a start. We don't need to make small talk anymore. And into, ooh, the library. Okay. I literally walked up a corridor and that was it. Right, okay, and this is our end. Was there anything interesting we did in the end? I can't remember. Let's go find out ourselves, shall we? We'll learn this together. I don't think we actually did anything with the end in the end. With the end in the end. In the end in the end. Weird. Oh wait, no, it's not advancements. It was recipes that have reset. Strange. Unless there's new recipes? I don't know. I am absolutely waffling on at the moment. I should probably stop. Did I build any? Oh no, I definitely built something. Because there is a shulker farm somewhere. Do I remember where though? Should be coming into view any moment now. There it is. And that is the end farm by end farm, the shulker farm by ending credits. And the archivists. Was this the archivists that had this design? I'll link it down below anyway. The one I used. But yeah, it was started. The concept is there by ending credits, and it was made by MB, I believe, who did the actual video. Could be wrong on that. And here we are. As you can see, Irontown's just over there. What was in new? Nothing. There was a little thingy here. That's very technical, yeah. Sugarcane farm. And then there was this monstrosity, which is my first creeper farm, which has the standard trick of they all spawn in there and fall down here and die to fire. Oh, we even got a little bit. But it had this very unusual clock that I tried to get working because I wanted to time the water that pushes these platforms. And yeah, so these two cylinders would fill with creepers and then they'll get pushed using water. So if I turn this on, this is the clock that we had. So we've got an etho hopper clock with 49 items in. And that would set off this monostable circuit into this pulse extender, which is there purely to power this pulse extender because that one wasn't big enough for the timing to be correct. So we have two clocks running on separate timings, and it is just an absolute kerfuffle where I could have just had this at a different setting and that would have done it all. But yeah, so that changed the state of this, sends a pulse, allows it on, then it's off, and then once that finishes counting down, it will do it again. That's all it needed to do. But no, I had to be stupid with it. Right, and that is when we decided to leave here and head to the area known as the main base, which we flew a very long way on the overworld to get there, which we're not going to do. We are going to go via Nether Roof, but you don't get to see that because it will be spoilers for a little bit later. As you can imagine, this place looked very different. Greg, listen, I'm talking to the audience, Greg. This has been very rude. Can you stop for 5 minutes, please? No? You're just going to carry on? Right, we'll discuss this later, Greg. Yeah, so this area, as you're probably aware, didn't look anything like this, seeing as there's quite a lot going on here. But this is where we landed after getting our elytra and our rockets. And this is where we decided to set up base. And once I leave here, this could get very dangerous because I forgot to put any armor on. We're going to have to time this very well. In fact, I'm not even going to attempt to do it in F5. Is that all right, Greg? I'm sorry if this feels cheaty to you, but I need to get this right. Thank you. Yes! Only one. Safe. The first thing we did was set up this little camp, and it didn't look like this at all. In fact, it was just these, and that was it, I think. I might have put a log down. There was a bed on its own and a chest, and that is literally all that was in this area. I built this pit, I built this, but I didn't do any of this until after I'd built the inside of this, which to begin with was just a hollowed out lump in the wall. And if we go up here, you'll get to see my first door. There. Beautiful. It's mostly hidden now, but yeah. This was the first room we built, and yeah, you can tell it was kind of the first from the floor. The plan is slightly different. If we go back here, you'll see this is how things used to look. I had a mushroom farm here. Was it? Yeah, this was for brown mushrooms. This was for the trees, I think. I can't remember. And this led down into the depth, into the mines of this area. And I keep saying and a lot. It's a filler word at this point. That is the main entrance and exit, and this is how it works. Once again, an extra long monostable circuit, but that is because the elevator needed the time for it. Basically, I've just hidden all that and encased myself in this little area, which I'm actually quite proud. Once we get out of this main room, I'm not a huge fan of this, but in here we've got storage. Again, this is all manual because I was trying to set it up into a automated system, but it was just too big and clunky and bulky, and it wasn't going to do what I needed to do, because what I wanted was every single one of these chests to have something different, which as soon as you start looking into storage, you realise you need to stack them on top of each other. So I'd have to have 3 of the same thing in this one chest, and that just isn't what we needed. So we opted for this. The next room we built, I believe, was this. I can't remember fully. This was for Alice, our camel, who unfortunately met their demise to a cactus because there wasn't really much room to roam in here, was there? And I feel really bad for that. The elevator itself is here. So if we press this button, it swaps the block, and up we go. And then when we get up here, it'll swap it back. And down we go. Up there, I was eventually going to build a giant world tree, but we never got to it, hence those chests. This is the second way down. This is a semi-automatic farm where we just push it all off, and it will collect everything down below in the basement. So if we head there now, we go around and in. Why are you dead? I don't know. I'm getting distracted. Yeah, so there's 3 layers to this, and all 3 do the exact same thing. Whoop. Oh, I've come out. There, and I push everything into this chest down here. As you can see, all coming in. This was a manual lava farm. I was going to build something back there, but there's a thing you're going to notice, a pattern here where I've half done a lot of things. This was my auto smelter, and it's absolutely awful because I didn't do the timings correctly at all. And so it doesn't do its job properly. Also, it's on double speed there, so I have to time it correctly to stop the things, the minecarts, else it doesn't pick anything up. But this is where I got potatoes, which was my main food source for a very long time. And this leads back round into this cool little corridor and into the worship chamber, which we didn't get any of our clerics in. But this is what this room was designed for. And it leads up into here. Oh yeah, this, by the way, as I was saying, is a room for clerics. It is not a sauna, as people keep mentioning, and as certain people keep alluding to. Mostly Axe and Mama Cat, but, you know, we're not here calling out names. Nope, nope. And this leads up to my corridor that leads back out. I put this little motif in, and it's a little bit fancy, but ultimately pointless. But I had a lot of fun building these rooms, and I really like the texturing that went on here. It's very much adventuresque, should we say. Yeah, I like that word, adventuresque. And out here into somewhere where I was going to build a statue in there, and this little like inside outside grove hidden by the Cyclops gate, which was going to have some lore to it, which links to our next build. Should we finish this area? No, we'll come back to this area because we need to do it chronologically. It is actually the land bridge for the piglins on the gold farm. And here is the tower where that Cyclops bridge's lore was going to tie into, hence the same colour palette. Did I do anything up here? No. So I'll put this up so you could get up here, but didn't actually give you a reason to go up here. So thematically, I don't know why you would. But you can. And this leads into this room, which again has absolutely nothing into it other than it leads you down here into a little area where you can sleep, enchant, and zombies. Hello, mate. And yeah, this leads up into our gold farm, which was the first thing we built on the nether roof. Now, if you'd have seen last week, you'd have seen this working already. So the piglins come in here, you slaughter them, and then all the gold and gold nuggets get filtered down into these. Did we actually get much gold? Oh, we did fill the filter, yes. And everything else ends up in there and burnt off. He's mad at me. He's always going to be mad at me. And I can't do anything about him, unfortunately. But yeah, that is that. That leads over to the AFK spot for the magma farm, the Froglight farm. And over there is a very small bartering farm, which it does what I want, but it's not particularly good and the timings are wrong. So we'll swiftly ignore it because we're going to head back now to the next build, which is now defunct in 1.21.4. In fact, I think it was defunct from 21.1, and that is a raid farm. There it is, and this was in XR4's design for the stacking raid farm, and it was an absolute ridiculous menace of a machine. But thanks to the introduction to the potion bottles, it no longer works. Not as intended anyway. How much stuff did we actually get? Oh, plenty of emeralds, plenty of redstone, plenty of gunpowder, plenty of totems. And everything else I think I just burnt off in the end. Yeah, so that's the raid farm. And with that out the way, we can then head off. We can then, once we've slept, we can then head back to the main base and finish the tour around here. And then we can go on to the main area where I spent the majority of my time. It's not too far away is the main area, the main base, which after we got all this in, we decided to do a bit of terraforming, a bit of land building. And we put this little stream in, we put this little walkway, and we put this bridge in that we used earlier. We then added a house, well, a shed for the allays, which I never got round to using, but they annoyed me immensely, hence why I've got a double door system, because I keep trying to escape. Oops. Yeah, perfect, that calls them back, and that's all that needs to be. Didn't do anything, I might do, I might not, probably won't. And onto this rundown little shack, as well as a bunch of terraforming over here. I did really like this shack. Can't fit much in there, but it's a nice little shack with a nice little bit of decorating. Got a basement down here with a furnace, which was a lot of fun to put in place. And this for absolutely no reason. And the only reason there's stuff in here is so this would light up. And yeah, that's the basement. This is the living quarters. And this is the attic. And it was meant to be just a kind of workman's rest or hiker's rest. And it's full of crap. Every time you see I've started a project, you'll find that there are just barrels and stuff with crap in them, because I still, up until last episode, didn't have a fully working, centralised storage system. As we carry on round, we get to our little dock. I call it the little dock because this one is a little tiny dock. And it curves in a questionable shape. And I didn't mean for it to curve into a questionable shape, but it's there. And I've put it out there and you can enjoy the questionable shape. Okay, moving on swiftly before you lot start in again. This is my little ATV, which is also a quad bike. But I don't like calling it a quad bike because quad is 4, bi is 2, and it doesn't have 6 wheels. It has 4, so it's not a quad bike. Okay, quad is fine. ATV with a trailer carrying some logs. And round into this road, which I started as a dirt path, slowly transitioning into this concrete road, which was then going to go and be a highway that led all the way to our last area. And that over there, our bigger dock, is not the last area. I should have made this green in homage of dock. Dock stock. It's not dock stock, it's my dock. And last episode, you saw me getting these villagers in. We finished this building off. A couple of episodes before that, we built these. A couple of forklift trucks. We got a storage unit, which I built before Mumbo, even though Mumbo's is miles better. It's not too bad. It's a bit plain. But the villagers keep messing with the doors. And this, which I really enjoyed building, is my dock crane. I've also got a dry dock over here, although I'd never finished getting the water in properly, so it's a bit iffy. But yeah, the idea is that can be drained. I mean, it can't actually be drained, but like the plan is there for it to drain. Now, this looks alright like this, but it really comes into its own when we do this. And that is just, I don't know, I just really like the shape, I really like the colours, and I really like how it came out. Yeah. And that is everything over here. There's still a few little like tidbits here and there, like I'd started to drag the rural road round that way, but didn't get too far. There's going to be a logging company in that area, but I don't want to get sued by Ren, so I'll stop that. And down here, well, Ren and Azuma for that matter, was the little mining area for this place, which is just like a rundown under the bridge mining place. So yeah, moving on now, we'll head over to my biggest project. Now this is by no means an extensive list. That leads down to the raid farm we just visited, so we don't need to go down there. But while doing all this, I decided I wanted a nether hub. I didn't just want to do nether roof travel, although I kind of do anyway. I believe this was just... yeah, just a basalt generator, and then it collects in here, just a manual one, a simple one. That way leads to, I think, literally just the ice frogs. That's all that was there for. And this way leads down to where we're going. There's also a way up here. We press this button behind here. We have our way down into the actual nether, but we don't actually ever want to go down in here, I don't think. There's nothing fun or exciting or enjoyable about real nether travel and real nether stuff. So, yeah, there you go. That's all you're going to see of the nether. I was going to be putting these ice roads in as well for every area connected, but never got round to it. So we've got the main one here that leads between the main base and the farming district. If we went down there, that leads all the way back to spawn again, but it's quite far. This was an alternative way down into the nether, intended for flight, but I kind of made it too tight, and it's very dangerous entering it back in here with any kind of velocity. So that whenever gets used. This was just for storing bolts for using that. This leads into the iron farm, which is just a death chamber for them. When another one spawns, he'll fall into there, into the lava, which is then collected in this here. If that's full, that means that's full as well. Yeah. And then we send that on its way, which fills into here, and then I've been manually crafting it into blocks, which I don't need to do anymore. I could have set up an auto crafter, but I haven't done anything with that on this series because it dropped on a couple of weeks ago, and I have one episode since then. This was the frog-like farm, which is, again, a very simple farm. We've got frogs underneath a layer of snow with a layer of hoppers. And the magma cubes will spawn up here. They'll try and attack him, fall into this, and die. And that's all there is to that farm. So, on to the main event. I think I actually started up on this tree here. Yeah, in fact, it was probably that one, because that one looks like it was blown up, and I had a creeper spawn close to me and blow me up several times here. So, yeah, it was around here somewhere. And that gives it away. This here is a failed perimeter, as in... I mean, if you actually watch the episode, you'll see how much I struggled with it, but the fact that I managed to get it off the ground at all with the knowledge I had is kind of astounding, really. I'm surprised I managed it at all. But this is where we set up base first. We had a little platform in the sky, and this was my storage system for quite a while. And as you can see, it is very disheveled and completely unorganized. And the next thing we built was this sugarcane farm. Eventually turn it so I didn't have to press this button. But there it goes. We got honey blocks on one side, slime blocks on the other, so they just pass each other and knock it all down. And then the idea is that all the sugarcane gets collected and plonked into this down here. I need to stop doing that. I don't have feather falling. So we got a fair bit at the moment. After that, we attached a honey farm, a honey and honeycomb farm to the side of it, standard one, which doesn't work anymore because, well, it's not that it doesn't work, it's that I can't be bothered to fill up there, which is why it doesn't work. because they need to be filled. If they're not filled up there, then it just sucks itself back in. It doesn't work properly. So that's what's going on there. Then I built this little corridor around it, which I am really proud of the architecture of this area. I really like it. Don't ask me why. I just do. Don't quite know what vibes it gives me, but I like it. And round into the cow shed, which originally I had a chicken shed here, but it wasn't very good, so we turned it into a cow shed. And the idea of this is you come here, you feed the cows, which this doesn't work on bedrock. And a fun fact about my channel is this mechanism right here, the entity cramming part of the game, is the entire reason I decided to switch from bedrock to Java, because I was sick of the fact that I couldn't build all the farms that I was seeing. And they go down into here, where the cooked meat ends up in here, and all the leather ends up in here and here. Where's raw beef in there? Did something mess up? Must have just been too fast. Yeah, so this is for more coal, or whatever I want to cook it. And then the cooked food ends up here. And that's all that is, in the latrine, obviously. The outhouse. Let's have a little bit of privacy. Onto this absolute monstrosity. This is just a much bigger version of that wheat farm I showed you just. Fun to watch, but don't do it. And then the collection system is over on this side. It was originally this side, and then I moved it over here into a slightly more useful area. So it all comes in here. If I want to bin it off, then I just allow it to drop down into here. Did I actually finish this? No, I was going to have this into a bin as well, but I still haven't done that. So everything ends up in here, all fills into this, and then this is just for moving the actual stuff over that I wanted. And yeah, that is everything over this area. No, it's not. We haven't talked about the main thing. The sheep motel. Something else that I had a lot of fun putting in, but for some reason something wasn't working properly, so I had to give these direct access to the sun. And I think it was only these ones that weren't working properly. I'm not sure, because I either missed one of them or something wasn't working, so I didn't get the right grey colour, so I had to have one of my backup whites as grey, which was annoying. But I like how I've decorated the area. Again, needless redstone decoration, always fun. The collection system's here, and that pushes it into a water stream underground. Is that right? Yep. So there it goes. Down it goes into here. It gets stuck there apparently. That's a bit silly. Down into here. The white joins it there, and then up and into this round the back there. This is all my wool. Lovely. And the cats here, they were for what this main project was actually for. There was going to be a gigantic creeper farm here. Are they here? Oh, no. Hello. Where'd you come from? There. Aha. The cats. Sorry, I got distracted then. I was raising all these because they were going to go into a creeper farm, which just never materialised. And as you probably saw just, we've got this little area in here, which is a joint bone meal and tree farm. So the bone meal farm's back here. You will have seen this already 100 times on this channel. It is the cromoss. I only needed a single unit for what I actually wanted it for, so I didn't bother building any more. And that leads down into that. Now, I am happy about this, is I've got this little system here, which if this is on, there is a little circuit here, which then allows the bone meal to pump into here, basically, and for this to spit it back out. So it is going down here, entering in here, and as this farm is running, which is also by Ian XR4, the bone meal goes straight into my inventory as well as everything else. The way this works is you plonk your tree or whatever it is you want to grow there, and then it drops a bomb on it. Very simple, but the timings are immaculate on this, and it's absolute wonder of redstone. And again, Ian XR4, I'll put that design down in the comments. This was a double bone mealer, just in case. So for all the stuff you don't want, you plonk them in there. And then we have a single bamboo farm here, which it wasn't keeping up with how fast it could spit it out. So yeah, it was great. More crap. More crap. Yeah, this was just to complete the circuit as well. If this one was on, then all the bone meal that's being produced here, and when my inventory was full and I didn't need any more bone meal, it was pushing it back under, back round up here, and then re-entering the storage of the bone meal farm. So yeah, it was a lovely, nice little circuit, and everything worked nicely in this place. I don't mind the decoration either. The only thing I'd do differently is I wouldn't build this in a cave ever again. It was so much more hassle than it needed to be just because it was in a cave. And I also need to move the bone meal farm back about 4 or 5 blocks because I very nearly blew it up several times. And yeah, now we are on to the final bits of my world. Don't think there's much else to go over. This here was just for me testing, for checking, seeing how different components worked and how I could use them differently. This was timing for the furnace. This is just carpet duping, but without the carpet attached. This was me attempting to have a new way of item filtering, and it was useless. This is, same as the Sage, is box unloader, but a 4x speed one, hence the cart there. This was me trying to build a clock poorly, and this was me trying to figure out how I wanted my storage system to look, and me attempting again another type of item filter which just didn't work. And all these are put into practice, or was put into practice at one point up in here, which is basically where we ended the last episode. So in here we have this nice little door I put in not too long ago. Not important. Into storage. This is a bin. And into the other storage, which this is the J Mooney version 5 that was built by Rapscallion. So I'll put that link in the description as well. It's a very good molten item sorter. This one was another type of item sorter where it pushes the items in from the bottom. And so you only have space for whatever you can fit in the chest, which is still great for early game and multi-item sorting, but as soon as you're having multiple of lots of items, it becomes a bit too much. And yeah, that is everything now except for the zoo, which is where we'll head over, and then we'll wrap this video up. And here is the zoo, our final place, our final project, and it was never finished. Nope. And it probably never will be. The whole reason for this was a couple of episodes ago I found a brown panda and I was like, right, I want to store this brown panda. Now I was already feeling the effects of burnout when I found this panda, and that is why I wanted to push through and why it ended up being a very long time between episodes. We got the cow exhibit, we got the chicken exhibit, and that is it. So let's head back over to spawn and wrap this video up. So, here we are at the end of the video and at the end of the adventure. All we need to do now is just put this in here. We'll put everything in here. These, I'm pretty sure you'll be fine without these, won't you? Yeah? Yeah? Yeah! And that is the end of the video. And a good chance an end to the series. Now, I'm not going to say that I'll never return to this world, but I am definitely putting it on the back burner. I have an idea for a project. I've got a couple of SMPs I may be joining. We'll see. We'll see where the future takes me. This channel is nowhere near dead, and this series may be coming to an end, just like other ones, but I'll still be about. There'll be plenty of stuff in the future. But for now, this world will be available in a download in the description, as well as those farms that were mentioned throughout this episode. And truly, I am glad for every single one of you that has made it to the end. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you to like or subscribe because you should be already. But yeah, I really am truly grateful for everyone that is here. And I shall see you all in the next series. Ta-ra a bit. Ta-ra.